Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta.
And thank you so much for joining us for the first time or for coming back and joining us. We're very, very grateful to have you with us. And as always, we like to set the tone for our videos. We like to be in a space of love and kindness and gratitude because there's a lot going on. And we just like to give you a happy space where you can listen to our soothing voices and have some aha moments. So, welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for that reminder. And as always, she reminds us every week, which I love. So thank you, everyone. If you are returning, we really appreciate your support. And if you're new, welcome to our channel. We love everyone. And we just want to remind you that hopefully you will love our chat today. So hit the thumb icon. That shows that you watched it and loved us. Thank you.
Yes.
And how about subscribing to our channel?
Yes.
And you can hit that bell notification because that will notify you. Even though you subscribed, you have to hit the notification icon so that you get notified when our chats are ready to be viewed.
Yes.
Right? Don't want to miss any of our chats.
No.
All right. What tea are we drinking today?
Today we are drinking Loyd's, and it's called Juicy Lemon. So if you can imagine, you know how sometimes when you're squirting a lemon and the juice is just everywhere? That's what this is like. It is ginger, black pepper, the activator. It is honey. It says, honey taste, lemon, and then it has what they call the magic factor of warm spices, which is typically lemon peel, what is that other one I saw? Rooibos, because Rooibos and green tea, that's it. But Rooibos seems to give you that little depth of taste.
Yes, we like that, and
Yes.
It smells amazing because you
Yes.
know, if you are a fan of ours and you support us every week, you know that we like to, when we take it out of the bag, we like to smell it before we put it in there. And then
smells so good.
Smells good, and then once it's in there, after it's been seeping, we like to dunk it a bit
to
more.
wake it up.
Yeah, and we sniff it again because it smells so good. And
Yes.
cheers! There you go. So
Cheers.
exciting! We get so excited about good teas.
Yes, we do.
I like the ones that look. See this? I don't know if you can see. It's a pyramid shape.
Yes.
Love that.
Look at that. That's so cute.
Cute little pyramid shape.
One of the things that I also love is I'm always talking about shrinkflation, as you know. And I was just looking when this was purchased, which was in the end of 2020, early 2021, it was $2.99 a box. You can't find tea for under like $5 now.
Oh, it's expensive now, teas. Very expensive.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Along with
one of the
shrinkflation.
things, because we've got some teas that we only have like one of. So I've been thinking, and as we're talking, we get those aha moments. What if we were to take and put them in like a little bucket and then we just pick one?
Yes.
And that way we'll get rid of all the excess.
Yes, and we'll both get different teas.
And then
I
we'll
like
both
that
have something
idea.
to share.
Good idea, Gloria.
All right.
I like
all
that. So we
right.
will do that next week. We should
Next
start
week.
next week.
All right. That's
Yes.
what we'll start. So like we said earlier, our thoughts and prayers are going out to the entire universe. And one point we'd like to highlight this week is our thoughts and prayers go out to the people that were hurt or killed during the attempted assassination of the previous president, Mr. Trump. The Secret Service, the police officers,
The families of the ones that were injured, and the people that were killed as well.
Yeah. So our thoughts and prayers are going out to them, and hopefully this could be a very positive wake-up call for individuals to know that we can't just keep doing bad things and not expecting to have bad situations. So we want them to be aware of that. So as always, our focus is on our kids and, just making sure that we do our part to nurture and help grow wonderful, fine human beings that become fine human adults.
And one thing I'd like to say about kids is I was at Whole Foods just a couple of days ago. Well, it was yesterday.
Okay.
And I went by this little boy that was in his shopping cart. And I looked at him and he looked up and he smiled with the biggest grin ever.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, my goodness, what the cutest child is. And children,
Yes.
they don't know at that age the difference between like mean people, nasty people.
Right.
And I just felt like children are just in the moment. They're always in the moment.
Yeah.
And they just like say it like it is.
Yep.
Or express it like they feel. And he gave me the biggest grin. I'm like, that is so cute.
Yes.
And it's like, I wish that humans were the same way. When you grow up as an adult, I wish we could live in the moment,
Yes.
be present, and not think about like the future, what's happening in the future. Just live in that present moment you're in, and just be kind
Yes.
and caring and just smile. And I was thinking, wow, that child is just so precious.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, we as parents need to nurture that.
Yes.
I mean, I know that there are like bad people and you got to like distinguish and teach your children about good and bad and everything. But the majority of people are not that evil.
Right. And they mostly love children. And I always think it's really wonderful when I see a child that is not of my ethnic background and they look at you with those big eyes and they smile. It makes my day.
It made my day when that child just was like just there staring, and all of a sudden I looked at him, he looked up and smiled with the biggest grin ever, and I was like, hi.
Yes, I know. And sometimes parents get a little nervous, but it's like, don't be nervous.
They didn't care. They were like looking at some stuff.
Right.
They had another child and they were busy chit-chatting about something else. So it made my day.
Excellent. So find a child and give them a smile. Make their day just like her day was made yesterday. That to me is beautiful. Beautiful. So today is National Tattoo Day. Do you have a tattoo? Would you ever get a tattoo? I was supposed to get a tattoo years ago with my sisters. We went to a tattoo parlor, and one sister got a little butterfly, and then the next sister got, she wanted her name on her ankle, and she wanted it to say her full name, Catherine. Well, it hurt. So when it got to the H, she told them, put a Y on it and stop. We laughed so hard. And then I wouldn't get one. So I was the bad sister of the day, but I really didn't care. I have another sister that her husband told her to like go to the store and do something and comes back home. So she went to the store. She was like, I'm not doing that. So she went and she got a tattoo. So she's got a cute little butterfly on one.
I've always said I wanted a tattoo.
Yeah.
And there's two tattoos I particularly want, but I don't know if, like you, if I'm brave enough to get the tattoo.
Yes.
So I may end up not getting the tattoo. But the closest thing I got to it was going to Vegas and getting a temporary tattoo,
Nice.
which was all fine and dandy by me.
Yes, because you get the fun of it without the pain.
Yes.
So today is National Tattoo Day, so let your tattoos shine. So as we shared with you last week, we wanted to get into the Bachelorette, the new Bachelorette, featuring for the first time an Asian Bachelorette. Her name is Jen Tran. So we're going to talk about kind of 2 weeks, and I'm going to try and keep them separate if I can.
Yes.
So the first week, Jen shared with number one, some of the guys that she met, I would be like, oh my God, like Jonathan in the hospital gown with nothing underneath.
Yeah.
I'm like that would have been a
and
little
he had
much.
it on for way longer than I was expecting.
Well, the whole show.
Yes.
That whole first day. So I was like, oh,
and
Jonathan.
he didn't have any underwear on because
No.
they had to keep putting some kind of icon
Rose
there.
icons.
Icon to not show.
Yes. The first guy out of the limo, his name was Marcus. And Marcus was, to me, he was a pretty awesome man. And one of the things he wanted to do was to go out and be of service to his country, which he did. So I liked Marcus. I thought he was really good.
It helps that he's cute as well.
That's right. We talked about Jonathan. There was a guy there named Brian who was like a little bit of a bully. He took Jeremy's car keys.
Oh, yes.
And I thought, why? To me, I'm thinking to myself, if I'm the girl sitting there and this isn't your car, but you have the
Yes, because
keys.
Jeremy was the one that came in with the car, this race car.
Right.
And he wanted to take Jen on a ride,
A
but he
quick
couldn't
ride.
find his keys.
Right.
So then comes along, who was the guy that took
His,
it?
Brian.
Brian was the one that comes along and says, I've got the keys. And he's like, I'm going to take her on a spin. So they
Yeah.
were there, sitting there for a little bit, arguing.
Right. So I didn't like that. Then there was Devin. Devin was kind of cute when he, got there. He said some things that I thought were cute, like he told her that if she needed to go, because he looked at her hands and he was like, and she's like, oh, I need to get my nails done. And he goes, I would go with you to do that. He goes, you get your nails done, I'll get a pedicure. And I thought, okay, so he's, he's about grooming and looking well. And my husband goes with me too. I get my nails done, he gets a pedicure. So I thought, oh, that's really cute.
Oh, nice.
Yes, because I hate rough feet.
Right.
Yes. Then I liked Grant. She has some, she's pretty petite. She's got some tall
They
men.
are tall, but Grant is good looking.
Oh, God, yes, and he plays basketball. However, Jen took him on, and she did really good.
Yes, she did.
He could, of course, he could beat her throwing the ball probably over his back, but he made it fun.
Yes.
And the deal was supposed to be, if he beat her in one-on-one, that he would get a kiss. However, as typical, they're playing and somebody comes and takes her away.
Oh.
So that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yes. Sam N said that he had never been in love before. And I don't know if I believe him.
Well, I don't. It's hard to know whether they're telling the truth, but he could be, because I don't know
True.
why any man would say that, right?
True. But, like, my brain is saying the word prima donna, and that's not what I'm looking for. But there are some individuals that, like Kim Kardashian. Kim would never walk out of the house looking half done.
Right.
And so when Sam N was talking about this, and then they show a scene of him curling his eyelashes with the eyelash curler, I thought, well, there's more to you than I thought.
And she actually commented on his eyelashes.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to say something.
Yeah,
but he didn't say anything.
I curl them all the time.
Yeah.
No, he didn't confess
he
or
didn't even
anything.
mention anything about that.
So Sam N, we have to kind of see how that goes. Now, every season, someone gets the first kiss. You never know when it's going to happen. So there are two Sams. So Sam M, his name is Sam McKinney. He's a contractor from Myrtle Beach. And he and Jen had the first kiss. And it almost reminded me of the Bachelorette. Remember, she kissed that one guy and she was like, I'm done.
Oh, okay. She said she didn't want to
She didn't
continue.
want to continue.
Claire, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Claire something.
Yes.
Lawley or someone?
Yeah. So their kiss was pretty intense, pretty hot.
It was.
So that's pretty much what I remember from the first show. You got any more to add?
What did I remember from that? I remember the Thomas,
Yes.
the Asian guy.
Yes.
He's Vietnamese, right?
Right.
I just remember him having very thick eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
That stands out to me. I thought he was decent on the first show, not too bad.
He's kind of short in
he's
comparison
a
to
bit
most
short,
of the other guys.
Right.
Because when he hugs Jen, she's like right here, whereas the other one she has
They
to like.
tower over them. But
Yeah.
but remember, some of them are African American.
Yeah.
So they're actually naturally going to be taller than her. But I think that some of those African American guys are quite good looking as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they are.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
I've never seen that many tall African Americans on one show.
Yes.
So
and good looking as well.
Yeah. So she picked some good guys.
And then I do like Marcus. Marcus is the first one that came out. You're right.
Yes.
And he stood out to me because I'm
Yes.
like, this man seems to be very genuine, sincere,
Yes.
and I'm just liking him, and I want to
Yeah.
know where this is going to lead
Yes,
to. So
more about them. And one of the things that Jen said at the first meeting was that she shared with the guys she didn't have a good role model growing up.
right,
And she said that she has had a lot of toxic relationships, and there's a certain type of guy that she likes. And her mission during this process was to not pick the guy that she normally picked. And I don't know what negative aspects of that is, but I think we're going to find out.
okay. And she said she wanted someone that would put her first as well.
Absolutely. So now we're going to jump into the second night.
See, episode 2.
Episode 2. So at the ending of episode 1, she announced that she was taking the guys to Australia. And I mean, the country is so pretty. I think I want
That's
to go.
why the first episode they weren't in the normal mansion,
Right,
because they probably knew that they weren't going to stay there long.
right.
But then I found out that there was a conflict because something else was
They've
happening
been
in that
filming.
mansion, so they were
Mhm.
filming something else. But that worked out because they weren't going to be there long anyway.
That's right. So they go off to Australia. The first date card was a group date. So Jen, picks these guys and she takes them to a comedy, stand-up comedy.
Mm.
If anybody ever takes you to stand-up comedy on the first date, beware. You have to make sure that you get there and you just kind of mellow into the crowd. You don't want to stand out because then you become the comedy show. So she gave them some time for each of them to write like a little comedy skit about what they wanted to talk about. It was really funny because initially it was supposed to be Jen, but then all of a sudden
the tables
turned and they decided to
roast
yes.
someone else, which
Yes.
was Devon.
Yes, because the guys had some conversations with him because he had gotten quite a bit of time with Jen, and they were like, we're not getting a lot of time with her. You think we might be able to get some time. But Devon, on one hand, I understand because it's like, I'm not here to make friends with you. And if I get a chance, I'm going to shoot my shot. So that's kind of where Devon was coming from. There's a guy, his name is Aaron. And Aaron even tried to sit Devon down and say, man to man, I want to talk to you. And he gave him a book. I wrote down the name of the book because I thought, y'all are just too much. Oh, it's called Principles for Self-Growth. So he was telling him, he's like, you're coming across like arrogant. And they called him a few other cute little words too. And Devon is like, just because I can do something and you can't, don't hold it against me. Because I am who I am, and I'm going to be my authentic self, and I want her, and I'm going to go after her. I think that where the rubber met the road was when, if Devon said to the guys, okay, you didn't get as much time with her as we did, so I'm going to still go after her, but I won't go after her before you. I'm not going to go to the end. He did tell them, I'm not going to go to the back of the crowd, but I want everybody to have a chance. And then Jen walks in the room and he takes her hand and takes off.
And he's the first one to take her and to have a one-on-one with her.
Yeah.
Which some people didn't like. A lot of people didn't like that.
Yeah.
A lot of guys didn't like that.
Right.
And the one guy that was very, very annoyed with that was Thomas.
Yes.
Thomas, I don't know his last initial, the Vietnamese guy.
Yeah.
And they kept interviewing him and seeing him talking about how this is not right. He said that he was not going to do that.
Right.
So
he's a liar.
Yes, he's a liar. How could he betray us like that? And Jen is talking to Devon, and all of a sudden we see Thomas get up and go up to the little area where the couch is, where Devon is talking to Jen, and he actually goes up there and says to Devon, because most men that go up there want to talk to Jen,
right?
So they could, I'd like to have my time with Jen,
right?
But instead of doing that, he goes up and says, can I talk to you, Devon? So
right.
He pulls Devon outside, and he's confronting Devon about how he's not sticking to his word for what he said.
And I love how Jen just went around the corner and stood and listened to the conversation.
Stood against the wall and was listening to what they were saying.
Yeah.
And I just felt that was a bit, I thought that Thomas should have been a bit more aware of what he was doing.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the right move for him and to cause a scene.
Right.
He should have waited until Devon was done with Jen and brought him to the side downstairs.
Yeah.
Not come upstairs and start a big scene. And it wasn't like they were whispering. They were kind of heated. Yeah. It was loud enough for her to hear this.
Right. And you know, one of the things, one of the reasons the guys were upset is so they had a group date. And Devon was part of the group date. And instead of them staying together and doing a group thing, Devon takes Jen away to give her some ice cream. So they get some ice cream. And so that's what kind of started it, because the guys are like, wait a minute. I thought this was a group date,
but then
not a one-on-one date.
Yes, with the ice cream, and the ice cream is there melting.
Right.
And then when they realize this is happening, the guys one by one decide to go up and pull Jen so that they can chit-chat with Jen and remove Devon for having too much time with her.
Right.
So, I don't know. I just feel that, I understand where Devon is coming from. He wants what he wants, and he's being quite assertive in getting his way with Jen. He wants to make sure he has the maximum amount of time.
Right.
But I don't mind that. I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but the way he's going about it, especially when it's meant to be a group date, don't step out of the group and do something solo.
Exactly.
This is not a one-on-one.
Right.
You should be with the group, not one-on-one.
And I was a little disappointed that Jen didn't, address this straight on. She should have, after this little incident, she should have taken them both back down and stairs and said, look, I know that this is intense. However, because she said to Thomas, you're trying to make my decisions. It shouldn't be any of your business what he does, as long as I'm not upset.
Right.
So she said it to Thomas, but Thomas is still spiraling. So I think if she had said it to the entire group, then like the Aarons and the other guys who were like feeling slighted by what he did, if you didn't have a rose already on your lapel, you couldn't feel like I'm going to get the next date with Jen.
Right. But I don't think that she knew there were other men in the mansion that were upset. She just thought it was Thomas.
Just Thomas.
Because if she just knows that Thomas came and pulled Devon aside, no one else has mentioned anything. So she's just thinking it's just Thomas having his little thing with Devon.
Right.
And you could tell that Thomas was very upset because they kept showing him being interviewed by the camera. His eyes were all bloodshot and he was boiling. You can tell he was really, really mad. Right.
So on that date, Devon thought he was going to get the rose. He didn't get the rose because he was just, he's a little, in his anxiousness, he's a little too much. He talks a lot and he talks really fast.
Who got the rose? I forgot.
Grant.
That's right.
Grant got the rose.
Right.
And I like the fact that Grant got the rose. And the thing that was cute about Grant is that he was talking to Jen. And, he heard her comments about not feeling appreciated. Right. And he said, I will always appreciate you. I will always be here for you. And he got a kiss.
He does seem very genuine and sincere.
Yeah. I hope we don't find out that he's not. So that part was really good. So that was the first date. And one of the cute things is that, remember we talked about the ice cream? After Jen got rid of all the boys, she was sitting there wearing that ice cream out. I love that.
Yes.
So that was really cute. So then the second date was a one-on-one, just Jen and one person. And that turned out to be Marcus.
Marcus, yay!
So the guy we told you about, he was the first guy out of the limo. He made a really good impression. So because Jen shared that they were going to do something that took her out of her comfort zone, Marcus shared some of what happened to him when he was in the service and how, there was a grenade and it went off, the impact of it. He was in the hospital for months recovering.
It affected him really badly.
Really, really badly. So Jen wants to jump out of a good airplane. Why? I don't know. I don't know why people do that, but that's what she wanted to do. And I love how kind he was. And he kept saying, we got this. We can do this. Everything's going to be really good. And they jumped out of the plane. And you can tell Marcus knows what he's doing because when Jen landed, she was on the ground. She landed on her butt.
Yes.
when Marcus just kind of walked.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I didn't know you could walk, but I guess if you pay attention to what they tell you to do, then that's all good.
Yep.
So they had a beautiful time together. It was very sweet. And he also got a rose. So now that leaves the final group date. And at this group date, you know, we had like Sam M. We had, what was his name? What was his name? Wasn't, you know, the tall guy that what she did is she did an Australian photo shoot.
She did a photo shoot in Australia.
Yes.
And then there was another guy taking pictures.
Yes.
And they all had to take pictures with Jen, but each man had a different kind of animal from the zoo come and be on them.
And the one guy that had the balloons, the first show, he goes, I'll do anything as long as it's not a spider.
And then what
ding,
is
ding,
it?
Ding, ding, ding.
He gets a spider, and this guy is nice, but he does have a little bit of googly eyes.
Oh, and I mean,
and then when the spider,
beep, beep,
the spider came out, his eyes were even more googly.
I know, and they put it on his hand, and that spider immediately takes off, and he goes, "Don't let it get on my neck! Don't let it get on my neck!"
I was surprised they were even able to take any shots of him.
I know,
because that spider was so quick up his neck, and then they took it off him, and I'm like, when did they take the shot?
So they had that. They had a bird. They had, but the guy
snake.
Yes. So they said we have one more animal and we need a volunteer.
But they showed the animal first, right? And then they had the volunteer. Or did they have the volunteer?
No, they volunteered first.
Okay,
he didn't know he was getting the snake until he got it.
It was a tall.
It's a tall dog.
He was good looking. I forget his name.
My brain is saying Dalton because he looks like
but he's not as tall as Dalton. No, and not as skinny as Dalton.
But he's a D guy. But he was so kind. And, you know, he volunteered, and then he sat and he talked to her about how hard that was. Like he would say,
it was a snake.
I'm not really, you know, he goes, oh my God, it's a snake. So they wrap the snake all around him, they get the shot. And then what they had said earlier is one person out of the whole group would get an opportunity to have a one-on-one with Jen
afterwards.
And he won the one-on-one with Jen, and they went off and they had a nice meal and conversation together. I really, really liked how calm he was.
And you know, with him, you know what was different about Jen with him? I think with him, she actually... So here's the thing with Jen. I always felt up until this point that she wasn't fully herself. She wasn't showing her full emotions and letting be natural.
Right.
But with him, she actually did this big old grin, this smile that I, for the first time, said, now this is a genuine, really real smile. And she's very, very into him. She's like...
Yes, I mean, and they were just, you know, the way they kind of leaned into each other. She, you know, like she said to him, you weren't really scared of the snake, were you? And he goes, no. And he goes, yeah, well, kind of. You know, and then she said, like, are you nervous? And he goes, no. And he goes, well, a little bit. I like that. I mean, he made everything kind of funny. There was no drama. There was nothing bad or negative. And so that was really good.
Yes.
Now, while they're there, so the guys all walk back to the place that they're staying. And they're like, well, where is, I know it starts with a D, but I can't think of what it is. And they're like, oh, he won a one-on-one with Jen. So, you know, one of the guys immediately says to Devin, which we kind of got a little ahead of ourselves, when Jen comes for the cocktail party, is it okay that the 8 of us that didn't get any time alone with her will get some time with her before everybody just jumps on her?
Right.
And all the guys were like, oh yeah, we understand, except Devin. Devin didn't understand, and that moved into the altercation with Thomas and all of that. Also, while this was going on, they showed a scene of a conversation between Devin and Aaron, and Aaron called him Dylan by mistake.
Oh yes, Dylan.
Woo! He goes, you don't know, you can't tell me nothing. You don't even know my name. So the interesting thing is that Aaron and Devin are having issues, which she has no idea yet. And Devin and Thomas are having issues. So this is going to bubble. This is not going to be a little, now you see me, now you don't.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens if she removes them all, or if she finds out Aaron is part of this thing that they're having disagreements with. So we'll have to watch for the future episodes, but I'm interested because I do quite like a lot of the men.
Yeah.
The men
they're very nice,
they're
and
very nice.
they're very conscious of their interactions with her. So I really like that.
I must say, there are some things that are a bit annoying about The Bachelorette, even The Bachelor. I don't like the fact that every season they have to show a group of men, if there's The Bachelorette, they have to, and then they go, and all the men are standing there, goes, Jen!
Oh, I know.
Or the women go whatever, Matt, or whatever.
You know, she's like, where are all my men?
Yeah.
And then you hear Jen.
It's so, I just find it too, like, staged. Stop it. Stop doing that.
Too cheesy.
Yeah.
Cheesy. So, are you excited? You know what's coming up? The Olympics, baby. Olympics 2024 in Paris.
This week. Next week.
Yeah,
26th.
It is just that close. Any of your favorites going to be there? Someone you're going to be looking out to see how they perform? I watched the pre-trials with my husband because we were stuck in the hospital, so we just watched the pre-trials. But for me, I am excited to see Simone Biles.
Oh my goodness, I'm excited to see all of them.
Yes,
all the girls on the USA team.
Yes, I want to see them all. I want USA every time there's a podium. I want USA on that podium. I want them to bring home medals. And one of the things is in 2020 when Simone, had her issues where when she would do her routine, she got what she calls the twisties. And what that meant is like she would take off and then she would forget where she was and what she was doing. Her mind could not focus. And she is a champion, so she took herself out so that Suni could win the gold. She only went on the team because in order for the team to win, they needed a full team.
Yes, and because Simone bowed out, that was a chance for Simone, because nobody really knew Simone until she had won.
Right.
So if it wasn't for, it's not a great thing that Simone bowed out, but because of that, she was able to get the recognition she so deserved.
Exactly. And so that part is exciting for us to see. So in 2020, there was a young lady, what is her name? Gabby Thomas.
Yes.
Gabby won silver and bronze medals. So during the pre-trial competition, Gabby won.
Gabby Douglas.
Yes.
No,
her name is Gabby Thomas.
Gabby Thomas.
Yes.
Okay.
And so she won. So, usually when you go like 2020, and I think she's like Simone, she's in her 20s. She's not the young girl. And she went up against Sakuri Richards and she won. Now, there's been speculations because Sakuri Richards is doing all these events. Maybe she just pulled up because, she doesn't want to be greedy.
Right.
Like Simone, Sakuri Richards was Simone took herself out. Sakuri Richards, she had was disqualified because she had smoked some marijuana the night before.
Oh.
Because her grandmother died suddenly. And that was her way of just coping so she could move forward. However, even though it's not a non-legal substance, and it's not even an enhancing substance, the Olympic Committee took exception to it and they just took her out. So she's clean, she's mean, and she's ready to fight. There's a gentleman, his name is Noah Lyles. Noah is a bad mama jamma, but there are some more bad mama jammas out there. So that's what I'm excited to see. The what do they call that thing? The high jump. We've got some American people that are ready to rock and roll, and they're going to give as good as possible. And with all the chaos in the world, I'm just excited to see how that's going to end up. Like I started out talking about Simone. Normally gymnasts are like 15, 16,
yes.
She's 27. She's got 36 37 world and Olympic medals. There are all kinds of pictures of her with those little medals in her teeth.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So,
and since she started doing gymnastics, she's married now.
yes, she got married to Jonathan Owens. He's a safety for the Chicago Bears. So there are other people who date, date
Other
stars.
athletes, yes.
Yes, just like, with, a person who works for who is a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. And every time you turn around, you see him all the time. This relationship, they're not like that because they're just about loving each other.
Right.
So, he's going to be there. Her mom, her name is Natalie, and her dad, his name is Ron. And in 2020, remember, they couldn't go to the Olympics. So that's another thing that's going to be different in Paris. People are allowed in the stadium.
Yes.
So a lot of people won medals, but they never got the cheer. They just gave them their medals and told them to have a nice day.
So this time is going to be the real.
It's going to be the real deal, Holyfield.
Yes.
So I'm really looking forward to that. And I just heard that on Netflix, as of today, there's a new documentary called Simone Rising. So I'm going to see if I can find that, because they talk about what she went through to recover and to bring herself.
Okay, we're going to
back.
watch that. Hopefully I can watch it by next week.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes.
And, then we'll
and
do
if not, we'll, give ourselves a little extra time. But we're going to watch it, and it'll be a discussion as part of one of our upcoming chats.
Yes.
Because it was just, I love it. So we're still experiencing unusual weather in the United States. We're still having heated temperatures here in California, which is resulting in wildfires. We are experiencing on the East Coast. It's all okay. Like, we're the West Coast, hot. We were in triple digits. We got to go down into the mid to top 90s. Last 2 days, we actually got some 80s and 70s.
70s.
Yes.
Yeah.
And today we're supposed to be headed back up to the triple digits. On the East Coast, we've got New York, New Jersey, all along Florida. They're on fire now. They're in the triple digit zone. So if you still think that this has nothing to do with global warming, you should stop living in fairyland. We have to figure out what's causing the planet to heat, and how we as people, as human beings, can figure out how to shift that.
Well, we've talked about this a lot in the
Yes.
past, in our past episodes, chats.
Yes.
We've taught you what is, why we have to be concerned about global warming,
Yeah.
and how it affects, how do we get global warming? And we've talked about that. And I think that it's time that, again, we have to say that it's quite concerning, because a lot of people are not still thinking that we have global warming, like our ex-president didn't think there was a such thing as global warming.
Right.
But I'm sure a lot of people think the same way. But it's when we do things, small things we do cause things to be emitted into this greenhouse and get trapped, which causes global warming. And there's lots of things we can do. And I think it's time, because we did visit this last year about things that we could do immediately to stop all these carbon emissions getting trapped into the ozone layer.
Exactly.
So we're going to revisit that, and we're going to reiterate how we can actually do things on an everyday basis that will help reduce that.
Yes.
So stay tuned, because we always have to keep reiterating
Absolutely.
this.
It's the rule of 8. You have to say it 8 times before it finally sinks in.
Yes, it's not just one and done.
Yeah. And another thing, we want to give you all a heads up: be careful when you're on beaches this summer, especially with your children. Because of global warming, animals of the sea are coming in closer and closer. So there are places where they've never seen a shark, and now they got shark sightings. So and I know how they keep saying sharks don't bite people, sharks don't eat people, they think they're fish. Well, I don't know what you call it, but every time we turn around, somebody's been bit by one.
And also there's beaches where there are sea lions coming and being very aggressive.
Yes.
Because the people are infringing on their territory.
Yes, and they want people to go away. And it's like, oh my goodness. So just be aware. And like here in Northern California, we've got Half Moon Bay, we've got Monterey, we've got Carmel, we have Santa Cruz. Just realize that that is their domain. So when you're there, you are something that they view as not being a part of the norm. So they can try and scare you by hitting you with their tail if they're like a sweet, cute little dolphin. However, if they're a whale, they're probably going to take a bite out of it. So like Rosetta said, we're going to keep doing some research and just trying to figure out how to help us all learn better about this global warming.
Yes, and especially for people that are our new viewers, we'd like to, talk about that again so you understand.
Absolutely. So, one of the things that we are going, we've been doing this for a while. At the end of our videos, we, thank you all for listening and participating, and then we want to introduce you to us. And today we're going to do a couple of quick tips, and then we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about, kind of not tell you just what we do, but show you. So my makeup tip, like I said last week, with the sun being as hot as it is, I was saying, don't beat your face with all that makeup and go out because it just melts and all of that. I also realized that when you get hot and you sweat, the chemicals in that makeup or whatever sunscreen that you have on your face, that shifts the composition. So you have to be very careful. You could have an allergic reaction and not know why your face is itching or why your face is burning. And it's that combination. So as we always tell you, try and really, really read labels. Labels are your friends. You have to read the labels so that you understand what I'm using, how should I best use it, and what happens if I have an allergic reaction to it, because that's just a part of life and nature. So that's something really, really important for you to know. And we're always talking about acne. We have early onset acne with our youth. You go through puberty, your face breaks out, you're like, oh my God, is it going to stop? I have ladies that I know that have acne that leads on into after menopause. So acne is around. So I wanted to hip you to a little bit of information. And that is, did you know that makeup that contains fragrance, dyes, acrylics, parabens, and silicone will actually trigger acne? So if you have an acne issue and you put something on your skin that has any of those ingredients, it's going to intensify the situation.
That's why you're right. That's why I've noticed that a lot of people, they go fragrance free with a lot of things, including their laundry detergents and everything, because those things are not doing too well with their their body.
Absolutely. So I wanted to share that with you, and now we're going to have a health tip.
Yes, and the health tip, Rosetta Chow, certified health coach, educator, and speaker. And when I'm speaking, I'm educating.
Yes.
So my little tip today, real quick, is about digestion and number 2. I had to pause for a minute because I wanted to figure out what I'm going to say.
Politically correct way to...
Yes, I don't want to offend anyone.
Right.
So how often do you go number 2? Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Once a day, once a week, every other day,
twice a day.
What is the right amount?
Right.
It should be once a day.
Okay.
So if you're not going once a day, then why aren't you going once a day? And I'm going to give you a little helpful tip and quick thing that you could do immediately is because you need fiber in your diet. And when I say fiber, what does that mean? It means roughage,
right?
Which is your fruits, your veggies, your berries, things with fiber. And you can look at the back of the package because a lot of times it'll tell you how much fiber is in the product that you're buying.
Right.
But as you know, we want to try and, as much as we can, eat from Mother Nature.
Yes.
So which is things that are grown in the earth. So it's the fruits, the veggies, and the berries because they have very high fiber, and the best is the greens, the leafy greens. They're very high in fiber. So what happens when we have fiber? It's going to help not only with the roughage, but it's going to help our digestion.
Right.
Which means that we need to eat more of that so that we can go more. And what happens when we go more? We are eliminating the toxins from our body.
Yes.
Every day our body's being toxed, whether we like it or not. And we are getting toxins bombarded all over the place, from all the chemicals in our foods, from a lot of inflammatory products we put in our bodies, from the environmental toxins that go in our body. See, we are detoxifying naturally.
Yes.
Because when we pee, we sweat,
Yes.
you know, there's a lot of ways that we detoxify, but our body needs help.
Yes.
So we got to make sure that we are eliminating all that waste from our body through eating a lot of roughage and things with fiber.
Yes.
And the best way is to eat foods that come from Mother Nature.
Yes.
And make sure that if you're eating, you might want to do some research on what foods have the most fiber, what are high in fiber. But Mother Nature's fruits, veggies, and berries is very good. And there's also a lot of seeds, nuts, and seeds. And avocado is very high in fiber. Chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds, very high in fiber.
Okay.
So there you have it. Hope you learned something new. Rosetta Chow, Your Health Matters.
All right. And I'm Gloria Webb-Williams. My company is Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural. I'm an all-natural mineral makeup manufacturer right here in Santa Clara, California. And today I am going to highlight this little box here. This is called Ancient Elixir. And inside of it is a nice little bottle. I have ladies who are calling this air conditioning in a bottle right now.
It's magic in a bottle.
Yes, during the heat wave, it is phenomenal. It will help to cool you down. If you have acne and you have breakout, here's my Vanna, it will actually help your skin heal. This is, and your skin heals itself. It's not this. This is distilled water, silver, and copper. Silver is antifungal, antifungus, antibacterial, and copper does the same thing, and copper naturally increases the elasticity of the skin. So this is like, it is magic in a bottle because it's cooling and it gives you a nice firm
and you
look.
can spray that any time of the day.
Yes.
No side effects.
No side effects at all. If anything, it just cools you off.
Positive side effects.
Yes,
you get.
cools
Positive,
you off,
yes.
makes you feel good. So we want to start sharing some of the products that we have. So this is the first one that I'm sharing.
And we're going to put Gloria's information in the description below so that if you're interested in Alexa, the best makeup setter out there, because it's all mineral makeup, it's all natural, then you can do that and get a hold of her. And she has her where she makes it in Santa Clara, California. So if you're local, you can call her and make an appointment and come and check out her makeup.
Yes. And Rosetta, my friend, has started a new venture as part of her world. And that is, she is making these beautiful earrings. You should zoom in on my earrings. They are gorgeous.
Yes. So what I'm doing now as a hobby is I make earrings. These are my earrings I make. I don't know if you can see this.
Yes.
Earrings and body scrubs. And what I do is I have a table at a lot of vendor events.
Yes.
And all the proceeds are going towards the families of this is the official name is UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital, Children's Hospital Oakland. So that's the name. Benioff is for the last name of the family that donated the most to those hospitals. So all those funds are going towards them because they, the social workers who help them, they actually put that money towards housing, transportation, meals, whatever a plethora of resources that the family needs while the child is in the hospital. And I'm donating because I know that these families, a lot of them are low income. And what I like about this particular hospital is that they accept any patient, whether you have insurance or not.
Which is such a blessing.
What I like. And I also have a fundraising page. So if you are not local to this Bay Area and you'd like to donate, then you can. I'm going to put the link below.
Yes.
And you can donate whatever you want. Or if you are local, then we will tell you. I think, was it 2 weeks ago we had a pop-up, which we actually talked about
Yes.
in Santa Clara, and I was showcasing my body scrubs and earrings.
Yes.
So if you are local, the next one will be August the 8th, I believe.
Or the third.
The second Thursday.
Yes, it's always the second Thursday of the month.
Yes, in Santa Clara from 3:30 to 6:30. Come by. We'll have a lot of small businesses showcasing their services and products.
Yes.
And we will have food and music and a good time. So you can come and check out Gloria,
Yes.
try her elixir. She'll spray some on you, and you can get my earrings, one of a
Yes.
kind.
Yes.
Mind you, there's no two
There's
that's going to
no
be exactly
one
the
else
same.
going to have these earrings but me.
Yes, and my
I
body
love that.
scrubs. My body scrubs, which will keep you moisturized for a few days, and when you put your cream on, it will glide on, and your body will feel silky smooth.
Yes, it takes less cream once you've used
Yes.
the scrub. All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure sharing the screen with you. And thank you for hanging out with us. We want you to know that we are so grateful for you. We feel the love and we send it back to you. Mwah! Bubbling over. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes. And remember, if you liked this video, this chat, we hope you did, you would kindly hit the thumb icon, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification. Then you'll be notified as soon as chats are available for you to watch, because I know you're excited to watch them.
Yes.
We are Silicon Valley Girls Chat over tea.
And remember to always keep smiling. Bye.
Bye.